Aria Sensing have introduced emPulse. What's emPulse? Well, it's a new class of ultra-wideband system-on-chip radars, scalable in 1 dimension, 2 dimensions, and 3 dimensions. So I sat down with Alessio from Aria Sensing to find out a little bit more information about what makes these radars so cool. Who is Aria Sensing, and how are you changing the way we use ultra-wideband technology?
Okay, so Aria Sensing is a fabless startup designing and basically deploying what we think are the world's best and world's most advanced ultra-wideband radar systems on chip. So what we're aiming to do is actually to open a new domain and exploit the ultra-wideband technology into a new domain, which is high-precision radar sensing. And thanks to the system on chip that we designed and their precision, we are able to detect and locate people into the environment, to detect their vital signs and also their gesture. Everything done in a very low power consumption profile.
And so, like, obviously, most engineers will know ultra wideband for things like connectivity or even find my iPhone tracking. So why can't we use like a regular ultra wideband chip for radar?
For basically one reason. These kind of devices are basically transceiver devices. They are extremely good at locating associated transceivers. But that means that basically they need to communicate among each other. And in order to do that, they need to comply with the standard, which is the IEEE 802.15.4z or the incoming AB, which, by the way, gives you just 500 megahertz of bandwidth. Now, the radar detection is slightly different in the sense that we detect the faint echoes that are coming from people into the environment. And as a general law, the more bandwidth you have, the more resolution, the more information you are getting from your device. This is true for communication, and radars are no different. And so that means that a radar also has a slight difference with respect of communication devices. You don't need to communicate with other devices. A radar just talks with himself by listening to these faint echoes. And that means that we are able to exploit actually the entire bandwidth that ultra-wideband allows you to do. And that means that we may provide far higher downrange and cross-range resolution to the detection. And we are able to overcome most of the limitations that these devices actually provides in terms of radar sensing.
And so what sort of frequencies are you guys operating at?
Yeah, basically all ultra-wideband devices operate at around 8 gigahertz, more or less between 7 and 9 gigahertz. But once again, the other devices are limited to 500 megahertz. We are able to exploit up to 2 gigahertz.
And so usually at sort of frequency of that range, that's going to come into some obstacles when you're trying to detect things through walls. So how does your solution deal with that?
Yeah, this once again is one of the benefits of using ultra-wideband. So since we are operating at 8 gigahertz, we operate at a frequency that is relatively lower if compared to other higher resolution radar devices, namely the millimeter wave that everyone is aware of. Those devices operate at 60 and 77 gigahertz, but for those devices, what we call the penetration capability is heavily affected. And operating with the tiny pulses around 8 gigahertz allows us basically of overcoming this limitation and basically to penetrate easily through obstacles. And that means, for instance, that we are able to detect the vital signs even through jackets, clothes, sheets, so on and so forth.
Awesome. And so, I mean, you just mentioned there some applications, detecting things through, vital signs through clothing, etc. What are some other applications?
Yeah, we have many applications ranging from let's say, detecting and locating people into the environment, counting people into your room, for instance, to optimize your HVAC and so on and so forth, or to detect gestures, or to detect how many people are in front of a TV, how is your sleeping. We may also detect the quality of sleep depending on the pattern of breathing. And in order to do that, basically, you need to have a very high quality sensor at the beginning of this flow.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for this interview, Alesso.
Thank you, Adam.